All right, hello and welcome to a session of Fit Essentials Basics. My name is Shauna and I'll be guiding you through class today. We're going to start with a disclaimer and then we'll get started. You can either start standing or seated in your chair. So you're about to engage in intense physical activity. Proceed with caution. Do not attempt to perform any movements or activity that exceed your current physical capabilities. Participants with injuries, high blood pressure, chronic health conditions, recent chest pain, or that have any other condition that may limit their ability to participate in this activity should consult their physician or healthcare provider before proceeding. All right, everybody, here we go. So I'm just going to start seated here for a moment, and then I'm going to come up to my feet. We're going to start with our breathing. So we just go 3 cycles of breathing, kind of fill the lungs with air, give our bodies a chance to really take some nice deep breaths, because that's not typically our tendency throughout the day. So sit tall, pull your hands into a prayer position right in front of your chest, chin in, and you're going to breathe in as you reach your arms out overhead or just in front of your body. Breathe and reach, and then exhale, bring them down to the side, opening up the shoulders, bringing them back behind. Very good. And we're going to cycle that twice more. So breathe in, stretch up, reaching up towards the sky, and exhale, relax it down. Fantastic. One more time through. You can close your eyes on this one if you feel stable where you are. Breathe and reach. Exhale and relax. Fantastic. All right. If you are able to come to your feet, if you aren't already, go ahead and join me standing. We're going to move into what we call our, oops, I need to move my camera back just a little bit more, not slam into the wall. All right. Our gates of heaven are first. We're going to place our feet about hip width apart. You want to just kind of be nice and flexy here into the hips and knees. Just give a little bit of bounce and then allow your arms to be heavy at the side. From here, we're going to start to swing the hips forward. Let the arms be heavy and swinging against the body. Very good. We're just going to spend about 30 to 45 seconds here. Just feel like your arms are lazy and loose. The hips are guiding the show here. So you're just pushing one hip forward and then switching sides. This involves some movement through your spine. And you have that fluid that runs up and down your spinal column. It's called cerebral spinal fluid. And this is just one way to encourage some more movement of that fluid. Keep it moving up and down. Keep your spine lubricated and nice and happy. All right, once you finish that, we're going to go hands up on the shoulders, and now we're going to tilt our body to the side. So shift to one side, back to neutral, and then we're going to shift the hips and tilt to the other side. Just nice and gentle. Back to center and shift, center and shift. Very good. So you can either keep your hands here on the shoulders, or you can extend it by going palms together and reaching straight up to overhead. From there, make sure you check in with your feet again. Slight bend in those knees, heels are planted, and I would do a couple more side bends. So bend, lengthen, and bend. Very good. If you're going in that overhead position, try to elongate, breathe, and drop down to the side. Last time. Up and down. Fantastic. Go ahead and relax your arms down at your sides. And next we're going to go arm swings. Make sure you're not going to slap anything. I'm kind of close to my chair here. And we're going to alternate which arm comes on top, and then palms forward as you swing back. I'll cross and open, cross and open. You can sort of add a little side step to it if you'd like. There you go. Close and open, close and open. Very good. A couple more. As you open, squeeze those shoulder blades back. Really open the front of the chest. Fantastic. From here, we're going to wake up the back side of the body. Walk your feet in so that your feet are just underneath the hips. And now I have my toes straight ahead. Palms on the thighs. Bounce into your legs. Get a little bit of a bend and have your heels nice and strong. And now we're going to go chin towards your chest, sliding down. Reaching down for the toes, just find what's comfortable for you. Very good. Just gradually bowing forward. And when you're like, all right, I feel a stretch on the back side of the body, you can tuck the hips under, make your way back up to the top. As you stand tall, roll your shoulders back, Engage those glutes. And now we're going to go hands onto the low back. So got both hands here on the low back. Slight bend those knees. Fire your glutes here and just try to look up towards the ceiling. Lengthening out of the spine. Very good. And then stand tall and just gently going to lean back. We don't want to have any pinching into your spine. So if you feel any kind of a pinch, come out of it and then try to lengthen again. Fire the glutes, gently shift forward. Very good. Just a gentle opening. And then we're going to go back to that toe touch once more. Hands on the thighs, chin to the chest, and slide down the legs, reaching down for the toes. And now center your breath so that you focus to breathe into the back of the rib cage. Exhale, drop just a little bit farther. And then when you're ready, start to make your way back up to the top. Standing tall. Very good. Roll those shoulders back. And now we're going to go hands on the hips. Walk your feet out just a little bit wider, and we're going to circle those hips around. We'll go 3 to 5 to one direction, and then 3 to 5 to the other. Good time to smile. It always feels kind of silly when you're circling your hips around. So just smile, have some fun with it, and switch directions when you're ready. Same thing other way. Very good. Just looking for any stiff spots. A little bit of a tongue twister there. And then once you've circled around, then let's just rock the hips side to side. Very good. All right. Go ahead and walk your feet back in. Toes are straight ahead again. We're going to go back to that bend in the knees and arms over the chest. Now we're going to be as long as we can through the spine, and we're going to do what we call a waiter's bow. You're going to bow forward, sending your hips back, and then squeeze those glutes and stand straight up. Again, bowing forward, hips go back. Yes, very nice. And stand tall. Very good. Good head position, Shirley. Chin in, looking towards the floor as you bow forward. Very good. And then squeeze your backside straight up. Fantastic. Let's go one more there. Long spine. Send the hips back, bowing forward, and all the way up. Beautiful. Go ahead and relax out those arms. We're going to go quad stretch next. So as able, we're going to balance on a chair or countertop. Door frame works great as well. Lift up out of your support hip, and then we're going to reach up, grab that heel as able, pull the heel towards the glute. We're going to hold this guy right about 20 seconds. And as with all of our stretching here, if you haven't heard me say it before, you'll hear it now. I don't want you to stretch to the point of pain or even to the point that you're like grimacing and just like really starting to sweat because you're stretching so intensely. Just gradually encourage your muscles to lengthen. And go ahead and relax out of that side. And then same thing, other side. Lifting up, grab that foot when you're ready. And we're looking to pull the heel towards your glute. Your glute is just your bum. Very good. Stand tall here. And again, watch that support leg. Don't let that hip kick out. So lifting up through the midline, holding on, and relax. Fantastic. Shake that out. All right, we're going to go back to the hamstring just a little bit more. Instead of that waiter's bow, we're going to go single leg bowing forward. So let's plant your left heel down. Get that foot nice and firm, grip the toes down, and then the right foot, you're going to place the heel down, have the toes off the ground. And now long spine, we're going to bow forward here, sending the hips back, and you'll really feel that outstretched leg into that hamstring. So tall chest, send the hips back, and stand straight up. Welcome, Luann. Good to see you, or at least to see your name there, bowing forward and up. Very good. Send those hips back between 3 and 5, straight up. And last time here, over and up. Fantastic. We're going to do the same thing on the opposite leg. If your balance is a little bit off, please stand close to the wall. Plant that support foot down, heel down, toe up on the other side. Either keep your hands here, or if you want a little bit more of a chest opener, you can go hands behind the head. Long spine. Here we go. Bow forward and straight up. Fire those glutes. hinging over just far enough that you're like, okay, I really can feel that hamstring there and up. And you may not always feel it in the back of the thigh. You might feel it in the back of the knee or even all the way down in the back of the calf first. Typically just depends upon your body, what you're feeling. Tends to be a little bit different for everybody. Last time, right foot is planted, heel strong, over and up. Fantastic. Back to our arm swing, stepping side to side, opening through that chest. Very good. All right, so we've opened our legs quite a bit. We're just gonna do a little bit more of an opener for the arms. Now this is one, if you can't quite interlace the hands behind you, you can grab an exercise band or even a belt, a scarf or a towel. You can utilize that to hold on and hold behind you there. Otherwise, if you can interlace your fingers, interlace the hands and look to extend out those elbows, pulling them nice and straight. And now as you open, you're lifting up. On this one here, we tend to kind of send ourselves forward or arch our back. So think ribs down, midline nice and solid, lifting up here. If you feel secure in this position, you can walk those feet out nice and wide, bounce into those legs, and you can bow forward here as well. But just make sure you feel confident for it. If it feels like a little bit too much, then just stay upright. Fantastic, very good. And I just like to turn my torso a little bit side to side. You can do that standing or not, and then go ahead and release. Shake those out. Awesome job. All right, from here, we're gonna start to open up the hips a little bit more. So if you have like a countertop to hold on to, a table, or I'm gonna utilize the chair, we're gonna move into what we call our squat sit. So you're gonna place the feet about hip width apart, stand tall, and walk yourself back to where you're comfortable here. And then just holding on, make sure it's secure. So you don't wanna pull it down, but send your hips back, chest up, and weight is firmly planted into those heels. And you can use your upper body, but push through your legs as much as you can to come on up to the top. And 2 to 3 times here, sinking back, holding on nice and strong, and drive into those legs. Pull yourself up and forward. Very good. We call this our squat sit. So you're using some assist to open up through those hips as well as you can. You'll also get some opening through the knees and ankles, just keeping everything nice and loose. All right, everybody. So good time, if you have some water nearby, grab a little bit of a drink. We're gonna get ready for our first circuit. If you have a band, we're gonna be doing a seated row. If you don't have a band, you can just mimic it best you can. And we're gonna be squatting first. So you can either do your squats similar to what we just did, right? Where you go unassisted, you can reach your arms out or you can hold a little bit of weight. Or if you feel better to squat to a bench or a chair, that's what I'll be demonstrating here, where you're gonna sit back, try to just control down, and then push through your legs and stand. And again, you can hold some weight when you're squatting to a chair, as long as you're able to control that range, push through your heels and stand, okay? We're gonna be going 30 seconds of the squat. Then you're gonna grab your band. If you don't have a band, just mimic it the best you can. Pretend that you do. If you need to know where to get these, you're always welcome to contact me. I can make some recommendations, and we're just gonna be doing some rows. Reaching forward, squeeze back and in. We're gonna go 45 seconds on the upper body, 30 seconds on the squat. Any questions before we get started? And I'll go ahead and demo. We're gonna be doing 3 rounds of this. I'm gonna demo the first round to the chair, and then I'll do unassisted squats after this. All right, if there are no questions, we're gonna get started here. Join us when you're ready. Feet about hip width apart, and 3, 2, 1, here we go. Controlling back, push those heels down, but don't let those toes lift up. So you gotta grip your toes down as you control, push through those heels, squeeze and stand. Sitting back, and push and stand. Very good. Halfway. Good focus on the down. Stand with confidence. Heels planted. Knees push out. Control. And 2, 1, and rotate. Very good. Going to the band next. So seated row. So take your band. Sometimes they have handles on them. Those work great as well. Put it around the foot. Extend that foot out, and now just kind of come to the edge of the chair. Sit nice and tall. And again, if you don't have the band, just mimic with me, or you can hold a light weight in front and pull it into your chest. And 2, 1, here we go. Squeeze those elbows together. Reach forward. Squeeze back and reach. Good job. Chin in. Really focus on strengthening through the mid-back. And breathe. Exhale. Inhale to reach. Exhale, palms up and reach. So I didn't really talk about this in the setup, but I like to turn my palms down as I reach away, and then I rotate up towards the ceiling as I reach in. So reach forward, that's 30 seconds, and squeeze back. No weights, works just like this. Back and in, reach, and back. Good job. Couple more. Forward and back. And rest. Good work, everybody. We're going to take 30 seconds. If you need longer, give it to yourself. And then we're going to go 2 more cycles through, starting back with our squatting. And I'm going to demo unassisted squats this round without weight, and I'll hold a little bit of weight for set 3. You're welcome to continue to squat to the chair if that's where you feel most comfortable. Otherwise, up on your feet, feet about hip width apart. 2, 1, and here we go. Reach out as you send those hips back, especially if you're not using weights. You can use your arms as your counterbalance. So you kind of reach forward, keep your chest as tall as you can, drop the arms down as you stand. As you lower back, reach out, heels down, knees out, and up. It's kind of like you're swimming here. So I reach forward, chest up, and stand. There you go. Fantastic. And back, control, push those knees wide, and up, and rest. Good job. Just like that, making your way to the chair. Or you can always sit on the ground as well. If you like to get on and off the ground pretty confidently, feel free to get down on the floor. Otherwise, if you have the band, foot around one band, lengthen through the spine, and here we go. Reach forward, squeeze it in. Reach and back. Fantastic. Palms down as you reach forward, palms up as you squeeze back and in. Good job. That's 30 seconds. You can rest there or stay with us for about another 15. Building some strength right between those shoulder blades, encouraging that nice strong posture. 2, 1, and shake it out. Great job, everybody. That's 2 down. If you're just joining us today for the first time, you might want to stick with those 2 rounds or get ready for that 3rd round. I'm going to go back to the unassisted squat. I'm going to hold just a little bit of weight this time up underneath my chin. If you don't quite feel ready for that, don't worry about it. Just do what you feel ready for. So feet about hip width apart. If you're holding weight, I like to hold it up at my chin, help keep my chest tall. And here we go. Send the hips back, push the knees wide. Grip those toes down. So I always talk about gripping the toes because that helps maintain the arch of our foot. Sometimes people will lift all those toes up and you don't have quite the stability that you would have if you're engaging the whole foot. So send the hips back as you push the knees wide. Very good. Controlling. Stand with confidence. Maybe one more here. Control back and come upright. Very good. Last time through on the row. So one band. Okay, or I'm going to show a little bit what you could do if you have just like a dumbbell here from the seated position. Should be a fairly light dumbbell. If you do have the bands, go ahead and put it back around that foot. Sit nice and tall. And here we go. With that dumbbell, I can just reach forward and row it into my chest. Reach and back and in. Again, it should be relatively light. I'm just using an 8-pounder here. So it could be, 3 pounds, 5 pounds, whatever feels best for your body. Or maybe you're like, Sean, I can do more than you. Maybe you've got like a 15-pounder. straight out, and squeeze in. Fantastic. Out and in, reach and pull. Fantastic. About 10 more seconds here. Stay tall. Out and 2, 1, and relax. Good job. Go ahead and shake it out. Keep yourself hydrated. Grab your water. The colder the temperatures get, the more we have to stay consciously active with drinking that water. So use this time to sip along. All right, everybody. We're going to be doing some overhead work next, but I want to do some stretches for the upper body first. So if you have a doorway or a wall nearby, go ahead and make your way to the door. You can't see my arm when I turn to the sides. I'm going to show you. I'm starting with my elbow bent, hand right about my shoulder. And now I'm going to walk that hand right up to the wall. Okay. From here, inside leg is going to step forward, outside leg, so the leg away from the wall is going to step back. So I'm in nice solid position. And now I'm going to take that hand that's against the wall and just start to crawl up the wall like I'm a spider, walking up the wall towards my head. And then you just want to find where that position is, that your arm is outstretched and you're starting to get a little bit of a stretch in the side of the body. And now I'm placing my hand nice and wide right against the wall, and I'm just shifting my weight forward and gently turning my body away to get a little bit of an opening up into my chest. Sometimes you'll feel it in your bicep. Turning away and breathe. Very good. Now we're going to walk the foot in as you walk the hand back down towards the level of the shoulder. Fantastic. And now we're going to turn the body to the other side. Same thing, other side. Remember, again, we're starting just like this, but my hand's against the wall. All right, inside leg steps forward, and make sure your feet are like hip width apart in this stagger stance so that you're nice and stable. And then when you're ready, I like to use my hand here on the abdomen to keep those ribs down. And then just gently walk the hand up the wall. You can even inch yourself a little bit closer to it as you'd like. And then gradually walk the hand back, again, opening through the chest. And turn your torso away. Use this hand to outstretch on the side. Breathe. Very good. And then walk it back in, walk it back down. And then let's go back to our arm swings here. Stepping side to side, opening through our chest. All right, everybody. So we're getting ready to do some overhead presses. If you're in position that you're like, man, my shoulders don't like to go overhead, it doesn't feel good for my body, you can do what we call a chest press with the bands or without. And so maybe you don't have any bands. You can just reach your arm out in front of the body, whether it's straight out or whether you're focused on trying to get overhead, which we want to maintain that as well as possible. Okay. If you have bands, you could use them seated. So you don't have to be on the floor here. I just am for camera angle. But what I would do seated is like put it under one leg. Let me show you actually from the actual chair. Boop. So I put it under one foot, come all the way to the end, and then here I have it at my shoulders, pushing up and down, up and down. If it feels too far away underneath the foot, you can move it up to like the level of the thigh, and then it will be less tension. Okay. And if overhead, if you're like no go on the overhead and you have a band, you can put it behind your back, and then you can push straight out with that band behind your back. Okay. So we're going to encourage the overhead position as best as possible, but do what's best for you. Like I said, you don't have to use weights here, but if you have some lighter weights and you'd like to use them, I'm going to use weights on the second round. Okay, so it would look similar like this, pushing one up and the other down. All right, not to be confusing. So we're going to go upwards of 60 seconds here with this alternating overhead press. If you're new to this, rest at 30 or 45. If you feel good for all 60, That's fantastic. And we're going to do some mobility work for our mid-back in between sets. All right, so sitting nice and tall, 2, 1, and here we go. Pushing up and down, up and down. Good job. As you come down, think elbow forward. So try not to go elbow behind you. Bring it straight forward and up. You can imagine if your elbow is like a water gun and you want to like shoot water at your friend, you'd have that elbow shooting forward. That looks better. And straight up and down. Good job. That's 30 seconds in. So again, if you're like, man, I tend to get sore on my shoulders, then maybe rest early. Don't feel like you have to go for the full minute. It's quite a bit of reps. Up, elbows forward. Well done. Very good. Maybe about one more on each arm. Up, down, straight up, and down. Fantastic. Go ahead and rest. All right, what we're doing next is like I said, some opening through the mid-back. So go ahead and come to the edge of the chair. If you have bands or weights, please set them down on the floor. So you're going to go ahead and mirror me. So this is my left. Take your right hand and just kind of place it on your right thigh. Left hand's going to go behind the head. And now long, nice and long through your spine. Elbow towards the opposite thigh. Sit tall, and then you're going to use your hand on the thigh just to encourage a little bit of some rotation as you peer over that shoulder. So elbow towards the opposite thigh, close down, sit tall, and then just a gentle rotation. And now the breathing. So I'm going to breathe in as I close. And then when you rotate, try to exhale, blow the air out of the ribs, or out of the lungs rather, to get a little bit more movement through the ribs. We're going right about 5 times. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Hand on the thigh, hand behind the head, and here we go. Close down, sit tall, and rotate, peering over that shoulder. Breathe in, and exhale. Breathe in, and out. 1 to 2 more. Close it down. Sit tall. Last time, in and out. Very good. Go ahead and relax that upper body. Great time to grab a short drink. And that's our first round. We're going to do that twice more. All right, so you're welcome to stick with the bands, or if you want to change it out for some weights. If you're someone that struggles to go overhead, if you're more out in front of your body, I don't recommend weights because it's just not a really strong position on the shoulder. If you can mostly get right up to overhead, then light weights would be appropriate. All right, so weights, bands, or remember just reach, and that's going to be benefit as well. Sitting tall, and here we go. Pushing one up, bringing it down, and then the other side. So if you did bands with me on the first round, please feel free. You can go back to those bands or just reach and relax. And so often, especially when we're doing any kind of upper body work with the rowing, you'll hear me talk about shoulder blade down, shoulders down. Now, this is the time that we'll start to think about shoulder blade up, meaning that as you push up, try to feel that shoulder blade sliding along the back of the rib cage and getting a little bit of upward movement. So reach and relax. We're over 30 seconds in. So if you're shooting for 30, go ahead and rest. Reach and relax. Fantastic. That's the way. Yep. It's like you're trying to bring your hand over the center of your head. Very good. Let's go about 1 more each side. Up, down, up, and down. Very good. And relax all that. Good job. And same idea. We're going to be doing 3 rounds, same movements, rotations next. So hand behind the head, elbow towards that opposite thigh, sit tall, and turn through. So the better our rotation through that rib cage and that mid back, the better our low back, the better our neck. And it's all very gradual, so just be patient, breathe in, exhale as you turn. Let's get one more on this side. And then we'll switch sides. Nice and gentle, close it down. There you go. And if you're like, oh, this does feel good for my body, remember, you don't have to wait for us to do these movements in classes. So try to use these classes as just a learn different ways to move your body, to stretch your body, to strengthen your body. And then you can do little touches of it in between classes and relax there. Awesome job. Again, if you're like, all right, I did 2 full minutes, but man, my shoulders are a little bit toast, give it a rest. Or join us on this last round, 15 seconds till we start. All right, with bands or weights, I'm gonna go back to the band for this demo. I'm gonna go around the thigh, hands up at the shoulders. I bring the bands like behind my elbows, and here we go. Push straight up, elbows come forward, straight up, elbows forward. So with the band, you just get that little bit of tension at the top. Good. Very nice. There you go. Whoops, lost it. Push all the way through. And smile as you reach up to overhead. We're over 30 seconds in. So if 30 seconds was your goal, go ahead and rest. Starting to feel a little bit of a burn. This is the end of our overhead work today. We do have just a little bit more with the upper body coming up. One more each side. Reach, relax, reach, and relax. Very good. Shake out those arms. And we can go our elbow circles here, right? So arms out to the side, and then we're gonna roll through those elbows. I know it feels weird. It's like, who circles their elbows? But those, they can move around too. There you go. And then reverse the other way. So bring the hands into the shoulders, circle it around, like we're doing some kind of dance. There you go. And then shake those out. And last time on our thoracic rotation. So thoracic meaning your rib cage, hand behind the head, elbow to the opposite thigh, rib cage slash, to be more precise on that, it's the area of your spine that sits at the level of your rib cage, be your thoracic spine. Cervical is your neck, thoracic is your mid back, and then lumbar is your low back. And then sacrum at the level down in the hips, right between your hip bones, sit your sacrum. Very good. Close down, sit tall, turn about 5 times there. And then same thing, other side. And want to keep our spine happy and healthy over the lifetime. It's really common to develop arthritis and all types of other conditions, but movement in a controlled and logical way is really good for our body to keep it healthy. A lot of times people that have like chronic arthritis issues, when they get into some good movement routines, a lot of the pain starts to feel better because you get some good hormones and endorphins and just encouraging that area of the body to keep some good blood flow going. And it just tends to feel better. So don't be afraid to move. It should feel better as you move and not worse as you go. So if you've been seated with me here for a while, let's go ahead and make our way back up to our feet. And we're going to get ready for our last sequence. All right. So our last sequence is going to involve about 3 exercises. The first one is either going to be a toe touch if you don't have any weights, or if you have some weights that you feel comfortable picking on and off the ground. This is a good time to use those guys. So if you're somebody that earlier in the class, if it's tough for you to get down and kind of touch the level of your toes, you may want to consider using like a block or a bench or something to kind of bring your weight up off the ground if you're doing some lifting here. And we're gonna send the hips back. You can use 2 hands, pick your weight, standing straight up, and then it's a hinging over and down. Okay, like I said, if you don't have any weights to use, you can do the arms crossed, bow forward, squeeze the glutes, okay, or you can slide the hands down towards your feet. We want to have a long spine and we're focused on a hinging pattern. So meaning we're hinging at the hip, and it looks a little bit different than earlier when we were squatting and sending the knees out, okay? So we're going to go upwards of 10 on the hinge, and then we're going to utilize a countertop, a chair, something that's sturdy where you can place your hands right underneath the shoulders. Step your feet back, and then you're going to step your feet up, engage your glutes, reach up to overhead as able. Sorry, my head's getting cut off there. Step back, step up, fire your glutes and stand, reaching up as you choose. After about 5 to 10 of those, we're going to go into our step jacks, stepping side to side. All right, we'll stop and get some water here and there, and then we'll just generally move through. Kind of planning for right about 4 rounds. That's what we did in the last hour. That took right about 10 minutes. So there's not built-in rest, but you just want to kind of monitor your body. How are you feeling? When do you want to take a little bit of a break? And I'll try to kind of build in breaks as well. Any questions before we get moving? All right, 10 seconds till we start, starting with those deadlifts or those forward bows. So feet about hip width apart. I'm just going to show the forward bow to start, and here we go. So long spine, slight bend in the knees, setting those hips back, squeeze the glutes and stand. Yeah, and some of you have the weight, so just like this, very good. Controlling down. If you have that weight, kind of put it down like you're trying to put it right between the ankles, or bring it down to right about the level of your shins. There you go. Shoulders back, bow forward. Squeeze those glutes as you stand. A few more. Over and up. We're going more for reps than time here. So anywhere between about 5 and 10. If you're moving faster than me, who knows? You might get about 15, but you can always move on after about 10 if you'd like. All right. After you finish that, if you're using a weight, please set it down so it's out of your way. And now we're going to move into our burpees. So placing your hands underneath the shoulders, step the feet back, holding strong in your midline, stepping up, engage those glutes, reach up to overhead as you choose. Again, stepping back, stepping up, plant the heels, squeeze the backside and stand tall. There you go. Nice and controlled. Back, stepping it up, and then stand and reach. Very nice. Yeah. So support, step back, step up, and stand tall. Moving great. Let's get about 1 or 2 more. And try to notice which side do you step back with. Try to alternate. Stepping back with a different side and stepping up with a different side. Very good. Maybe 1 more there, and then whenever you're ready, go ahead and come on up. And we're going to go into our step jacks next. So we did quite a bit of overhead work. So I'm just going to go arms out to the side, stepping side to side here. Again, we're going anywhere between like 15 and 30. I'm just going to move here for right about 30 seconds, which is going to bring us to that 2.5 minute mark. Put us on pace for right about 4 rounds in 10 minutes. And shake those arms out anytime you want. Did quite a bit of shoulder work so far today. All right, everybody, go ahead and grab a drink if you'd like, and then we'll go back to the toe touches or deadlifts. Very good. So if you're using some weights, walk those feet out about hip width apart, slight bend those knees. Again, if you're doing the bow, hands over the shoulders, just like so, or go ahead and grab your weights. If you want to go a little bit heavier, you can even hold 1 weight in each hand. Squeeze the glutes and stand. Send the hips back. Just as far down as you can keep a good position through your spine. So chest tall, try not to round, hips back, long spine, and then straight up. Fire those glutes. Over, down, looking towards the floor, and straight up Fantastic. Couple more reps. Over and up. Last one. Over and straight up. Very good. Set those weights down when you're ready. Make sure your path is clear. And then we're moving into our burpees, placing the hands underneath those shoulders, stepping back. We don't want any arching of the low back, so keep your hips up as you step forward. Stand tall, reach if you'd like. Support down, there you go, fantastic folks. Back, up, stand tall. And as always, you can move steady with me. You can always move faster. Consistency is what I'd like to see, or pacing yourself so that if you start slow and you do want to ramp it up, that you can always go faster. What we want to try to avoid in these sessions is going out too fast and then kind of hitting a wall. Depending upon what you're training for, that may be appropriate if you need to train for some real high intensity, but here we're typically focused on just some general fitness. And going out too hard and stressing the body too quick is just harder on our nervous system. It's harder for our body to recover from. But if we build consistency, that builds confidence, and it also keeps our stress hormones from getting too crazy. You don't want to go too much stress there. All right, folks, when you finish that, we're back to our step jacks, just cycling through. I'll go right about 30 seconds here. If you'd like to count your reps, we're going anywhere between 15 and 30 total reps. And we're coming right up on that 5-minute mark. So great job, everybody. Breathing and moving. Very good. All right, go ahead and shake that out. Feel free if you'd like to grab a drink, and then we'll be back to it when you're ready. Okay. So I'm going to hold a dumbbell in a vertical position this time, placing the feet nice and wide. And then here I go. Long spine, lowering the weight down, chin in, squeeze the backside, hinging over. All right, so some people oftentimes will get scared about deadlifting. They hear that it's bad for you. You want to learn how to do it well, and then it becomes one of our most functional pieces of exercise, right? Because we're picking something up off the ground. Might be your grocery bags, might be your laundry detergent, might be your grandchild. Whatever it is, we want to do it properly. So we hinge the hips, squeeze the glutes, long spine. Let's go one more there. It's probably at least 10 or so. And then now we're going into call these our burpees, elevated burpees. So whenever you support through the hands, starfish hands, spread the fingers out nice and wide, stepping back, midline strong, stepping up, fire the glutes, reached overhead. And then just find your pattern there. Step back, step up, moving through. And push through that upper body, nice and strong through those shoulders. So pushing into the floor, or not into the floor, but into your support. Obviously, ensuring that your support is stable before you push into it. Don't want to have any unpleasant surprises. Back and up. Very good, everybody. Let's get about one more here. Fantastic. Again, great time to take a break, or if you're still with me, into our side steps, step jacks, or if you want a little bit more overhead work, you're welcome to go overhead for your traditional jump jack or step jack. Nice job. Take about 20 seconds, and then we're going to move through for one final cycle. And then, as always, we'll have a couple cool down stretches at the end, so stick with us. All right. If you want to take a moment and grab some water, go to it. Otherwise, feel free to join me. We've got about 3 minutes left. So feet nice and wide. Lengthen before you bow here. Slight bend in those knees. Send those hips back. I've got the weight right between my feet. Straight up. And use that upper body to keep it close, right between the ankles. stand, and lowering down. Look towards the floor, chin in, looking straight ahead of the top. And then as I bow forward, now I'm going to pull that chin in, looking back towards the floor, straight ahead of the top, shoulders back, tall chest, bowing forward. Very good. Couple more reps, down and up, hinging over, and stand. Fantastic. When you're done with that, place your weight down, and then we'll head into our final set of burpees. Strong support through that upper body. Place those hands. When you're solid there, step the feet back, step the feet up, squeeze the glutes, and reach. Good job. Alternating that step back leg best you can. I know I get confused too. Which one did I step with? Just try to pay attention to it. Bring some awareness. Our body will tend to favor one side or the other. So we want to keep both sides even. Squeeze and reach. Moving well. Well done, everybody. Let's get about 2 to 3 more. Backing up, reach up, and then we'll finish with our step jacks and our cool down stretch. Fantastic. Last one. Very good. And right about 20 seconds to finish. So step it out, side to side here, arms out to the side, or if you'd like to go any more overhead, it's always welcome. There you go. And kind of use this time opening through the chest. Give yourself a round of applause. And 2, 1, everyone done there. Awesome. And if you haven't so far, please grab your water bottle. Let's kind of take a moment, kind of walk it out. And then we're going to do some rotational stretches and some hip openers from the chair. All right. And a lot of times people get nervous when they feel the muscles of the back. It's normal, just like your shoulders get sore, your thighs get sore. It's normal for your back muscles to also get sore after you've used them. So you kind of want to keep them loose and just pay attention. If you tend to get sore on one side more than the other, or if it's like shooting pain or anything that's like that, you know, by all means, take caution there. Maybe reach out to someone, get a little bit more closer attention to it. But if you just feel that stiffness, especially if it's even on both sides, that's just a sign that you're using your muscles just like the other muscles of your body. So don't be too concerned in that regard. All right, we're gonna sit tall, hand to the opposite thigh, and we're just gonna use this hand to encourage some rotation, peering over the shoulder. And you can take the same side hand of the opposite arm to the shoulder, and we're gonna peer over, and we're simply gonna make some nice big or medium circles with the elbow. Peering over, and let's go anywhere between 5 and 10, circling it backwards, encouraging the shoulder blade to go back and down. Breathing through. Very good. And then go ahead and relax. Same thing other side. Sitting tall, hand comes to the opposite thigh, and you're just using that to pull yourself around. Opposite hand, the same side shoulder. And then turn your head, peer over that side, and cycling through here between 5 and 10 rotations, up and down. Very good. Relax there. Next, we're going to work the foot, not so much up the leg yet, but we're going to see if you can kind of grab that knee, pull it in towards the same side shoulder, and let's go ahead and just roll that ankle around a little bit. So pull the foot up and down, roll that ankle around about 5 times one way. There you go. And then switch about 5 times the other way. Fantastic. If your ankles tend to be stiff, again, this is something that's really great to do. Easy thing to do if you're watching television, talking on the phone. And then same thing, other leg. Get that foot stable, pull it up, and let's circle it around, up and down. Good. Switch directions. Tracing the letters of the alphabet is a really good exercise as well. We don't spend that long on it, but you could just imagine even cursive. The kids don't even know what that means these days, but cursive letters or printed letters will get your ankle to go in all different directions. Also good for your brain as well. We're going to go back to the first side. This time you're going to pull the knee up and see if you can kind of bring it across the body. Now we want to start to isolate the side of the hip, working into that glute a little bit. And then this kind of works the upper body as well. You can pull the knee in towards your chest, and you can hardly see here, but I have my foot like on the opposite side of the downside leg, and you can just use that foot a little bit, use the knee to kind of pull the foot across and just feel it in through the hip here. Couple breaths here, shift into it, and then relax, and same thing other side. So grab it in, pull it in, see if you can bring it across, kind of like you're trying to cross your legs, just gently. And then you can use that foot to pull it over. And again, trying to say hello to the outside of the hip and glute area. Continue to sit tall though. And I can feel myself starting to slouch forward. So pull everything upright, pulling it across. Very good. And then one more here, everybody, working into that figure four. So taking the foot, see if you can kind of work it more up the leg on the opposite side. If you can get it above the knee, walk that foot in. And then we're sitting tall again, as always, and just very gently, we'll bow forward, looking to get an opening in that outer hip. This will tend to be a little bit more intense than that first stretch. So find your edge. Remember, we want to avoid that grimace, so just gently leaning forward. One more nice big breath there, and then relax it down, switching sides. Same thing, other side, working that foot up. I know this can be a really tough position. A lot of times hips get stiff, so encourage it, but don't force it. And sit tall, bow forward. And it could just be like sitting tall. You're like, oops, I feel that. So, find it. Where is it for you? Good job. About 10 more seconds here. Nice deep breath. All right, and relax that leg down. We're just going to finish with a couple of stretches for the upper body and neck. So sitting tall, we're going to go chin towards the chest. See if you can, how close can you bring the chin to your chest, but not forcing it. And then sit tall, gradually look up towards the ceiling. And you can continue that pattern up and down a few times. If you'd like, very gently, fingertips, like very gentle fingertips on the top of the head will encourage just a little bit of overpressure, lengthen the back of the neck. And then as we look up, we'll go hands over your collarbones. Cross the hands, pull the skin down like you're trying to just lengthen the front of the neck, and then gently look up. And we'll cycle that once more. Chin in, looking down. If you'd like, top of the head with your fingertips. And then palms on the collarbones, downward tissue pull, so pulling the skin down as you look up. And then back to neutral. So we've been looking straight up. Now you can imagine you're trying to look over one shoulder. So look up into one side. And then back down to neutral, and then up into the opposite side. And down. Very good. Last one we're going to do is just for some rotation of your neck. So I continue to sit tall. This can also be done standing, but we're seated here. So sitting tall, I'm going to turn my gaze like I'm trying to look over the shoulder, and then 2 fingers up on your cheekbone. So not on the jaw, up on the cheek, just gradually giving a little bit of overpressure, holding for right about 5 seconds, not anything crazy long, and then relax. And same thing other way. Peer over the opposite shoulder. 1 or 2 fingers up on the cheekbone. Very gentle. Encourage a little bit more rotation. Down and relax. twice more each side. And now you can think about the opposite side. So as I turn, bring the opposite shoulder back and down, and just try to open gently through the chest. Back to center, same thing other side. Traction that shoulder back, peer over, and 2 fingers on the cheekbones. Beautiful. Last time each way. Shoulders down. The idea would be to, as we go a little bit farther, just to continue to encourage, maybe get a little bit more, like a degree or so more of a rotation. But don't be competitive here. Guide the body and relax. Beautiful. And then you can just tilt the head side to side, bringing the ear towards one shoulder and then the opposite shoulder. Ooh, couple little cracks and pops there. And then as you'd like, you can circle it around, bringing the chin down to the chest and looking up towards the ceiling. And can't stress the focus to be gentle enough here. Our neck is it has lots of gentle little ligaments and tendons and bones there. So you want to move it gently as well. But just like anything else, move it to keep it moving. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Remember some of those stretches that we did throughout the hour today and bringing them into your life in between classes. If you're sore from those squats we did, stretching out those quads, you can even just kind of sit in your chair if you're sore and just massage those tissues as well, just like encouraging some blood flow and keep all that area nice and loose, okay? All right, stay hydrated, stay healthy, and those of you here live, hope to see you on Thursday. Take care.